I'm a little bit groggy. My blood sugar's a little bit high. I got some snacks yesterday, so I have a lot on my mind. I had my primary doctor's appointment yesterday to get my approval for surgery. I do need to go get my chest X-ray, which should have been my last thing before my approval for surgery. It looks like that's not going to happen. Yeah, it looks like I have more chemo in my future. Um, I have a heart murmur, and my doctor was showing all of the details to me on my EKG yesterday. So I am not really in the best mood. Um, I did not enjoy the after effects of chemo this past week, and I am definitely not looking forward to more of that. So, the thought of more of that is not really a wonderful, happy thought. And the thought of more of that, just as an after, like proactive thing after surgery was kind of an unpleasant, like vague, nebulous thing. But the fact that maybe I can't have surgery and that I need to eliminate all the cancer because there's no other alternative, and that is the only way I'm going to do it, and that I have to have chemo until it's gone is really yucky. So I'm not happy. Um, and the doctor went into a lot of detail about that EKG. I have a procedure tomorrow to look at my heart, and when they schedule it on Saturday, nobody wants to work on Saturday, so that's I mean, not somebody that has like medical credentials that can take the day off and be with their family and all that kind of stuff. So if they're in there, it's something important. And that is not even something I even hesitated about, me with my Orthodox Jewish beliefs and everything. I didn't even bother asking. That's something I need to do. So I'm not happy about it. Not happy. And I have thoughts about this. My mother had a heart attack when she was my age. It was a little tiny one, and they didn't need to operate or anything. They just had to monitor her overnight. So it was not like a big deal, except that it was a big deal to me because my mother was in the emergency room when I was in 10th grade, and it was right after we had that unit in life management skills about CPR. So, of course, that was a big deal to me. It was my mother, you know. I mean, my mother, out of all of her multiple health issues, heart is probably not one of the major ones. But I remember that. I remember it very vividly and everything. I remember being in the emergency room with her. And so I definitely remember that. I think she was 55. No, she couldn't have been because we're not born in the same, like, she was in her 50s, her mid 50s. Um, but she was about my age. And, I guess she was a little bit younger than me. But it sticks with me and everything. I remember that. And so it make okay, more weird noises in this house. Um, and I think it's an ice machine, which I don't use. But it makes me aware that I am getting older and I don't really think about things that I need to think about. I'm still thinking about my kidneys going out, which was like 8 years ago. I'm still not like really processing it in my head that I have cancer and could die from that. That has not registered in my brain. Let alone heart issues. You know, so this is something that's complicating the cancer treatment, and so last chemo, of course, I jinxed myself doing that. I jinxed myself, and now I have to deal with this on top of it, because nothing ever goes right for me. It never does. And you know, I feel so lousy from the chemo from the last one. I feel so incredibly uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm just achy and it won't stop. And in the past I've been able to get on the stationary bike and that helps, and the medicine helps, and it won't help. And I threw up yesterday. That's a first. I actually did. And it probably did not help that I ate junk food. But I've been craving junk food so much. All I ever eat is like Ensure and healthy stuff all the time, which I need to do. But sometimes I want chocolate. Sometimes I want Funyuns. Sometimes I want that stuff. And I never get to have that. And I came back from the doctor's appointment. I had to wash my car because it was just covered with whatever this stuff is in South Florida. And I don't like my car covered in it because I can't see out of it. And, so I took it to the car wash and then I got junk food. So, because I'm tired of being good all the time and everything. And it gets me nowhere. And, people that are not good all the time, they're in charge, you know. So I went out and I got junk food, and I know I'm not supposed to do that because I have cancer and everything, and it could change my prognosis. Whatever. I have a freaking heart murmur. How did that happen? I exercise every day. How did I get a heart murmur? You know, um, and so now I have to deal with that. So that probably means I'm going to have another 6 or 7 chemo sessions. And so, and probably no prospects of getting the tumor removed. I'm just going to have to dissolve it with chemo. And so that's what's going on in my crummy life. And, I guess I'm going to get really good at doing makeup tutorials. Yes, I drew them in. I've got to go get an x-ray, so that's what my day is full of. It's my day off. I already did all my house cleaning and everything. I've got a little laundry to do. While I was eating all that junk food, I sat on apparently on half a Little Debbie, so that's something I've got to clean up. Yay. Because nothing goes unpunished in my life. So sorry if I sound a little negative, but that was my crummy news from yesterday. Yeah. And so this is really so negative and everything. I'm probably not going to get any views and everything. But anyway, well, I watched Flow. And I watched it more than once because that's about all I can handle right now. The news is just so horrible and awful. And, I don't live in a vacuum. I live all by myself and everything, which is like maybe inviting crime. I don't know. I'm looking at the floor. It looks like somebody's been in the house, which is spooky and creepy. But I'm getting to the point where I cannot deal with all the news and I don't want to look at it. I don't want to watch it. And yet, for some reason, YouTube wants to ram it down my throat. I don't want to watch it. I'm well aware of what's going on in the world around me. I don't want to watch it. It's so extremely depressing. If we had somebody who wasn't a weak, worthless leader in the United States, we wouldn't have what's going on right now in the world. And now I said it. I got political. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of seeing all this stuff in the news. I'm sick of it. Um, I'm sick of it. We have the weakest person that we've ever had leading the free world in 80 years. And this is not a new pattern. I am ashamed to live in the United States right now, and this is not the first time this has happened. What happened in World War I? The United States sat around for 3 years and watched racist movies while the rest of the world was over there fighting in Europe. What happened in World War II? For 3 years, Germany rampaged through Europe while the United States sat around passing tariffs and having rallies in Madison Square Garden for 3 years until Pearl Harbor got attacked. At the very end of 1941, it was basically 1942 before America got off its worthless butt and finally joined in, on the right side of history. And here it goes again, stuff is going on and everything. Weak, worthless leadership. I said it. I got political finally, okay? I voted. I absolutely voted, and I did not vote for who's in there. I've been trying to keep this apolitical and everything because this is about medical stuff and everything. But, I'm so tired of hearing about this stuff. I don't want to live in this country. I got stuck here because of medical issues and everything. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of being stuck in this situation. I'm running out of money because of the political situation that's going on here. I've always been able to make a lot of money, but I got demoted at work because of my religion. And I try to stay positive about it and everything, but I don't like that. And why? Because of the environment that's going on that's conducive to bullying people because of religion, because of sex, because of And I'm not talking about even LGBTQIA plus. I'm talking about being a woman. It's okay in this country now to bully women, and that is outrageous. Even Saudi Arabia does not do that anymore, but in the United States, it's okay to do that. You know, and this country has turned into just the most disastrous, outrageous thing because of weak leadership, which half the country chose. And unfortunately, even women voted for that because they feel like their husbands are going to look at their ballots, and it's I had to suffer because of that. I got demoted at work because now it's okay to do that. It's okay to demote someone because they don't practice the same religion. And I had to take a substantial pay cut because of that. You know, I worked very hard in college. I worked very hard to get my insurance license, and I had to take a substantial pay cut when the new administration came in because now it is okay to do those things in the workplace. There's no protections in place because of it. And, this is the kind of an environment that is going on in the United States. If you're not in the United States, that is what is going on around here. And on top of that, I'm not in a position to look for another job because if I look somewhere else, they will not hire me because I have cancer. And, so if you even think of suggesting such a thing, at least I have my job because nobody will hire me. I have cancer. Um, and that is what's going on in this country right now. In this country, in typical patterns, just like World War One and World War Two, will not get involved in anything. It promised the world, just like in the Geneva Convention, promised the world to Europe, but stays out until it turns into a disaster. And the result of that in World War II, by the way, was that the Warsaw Pact happened. And the promise, the result of staying out of World War One was that Nazi Germany happened. And the result of staying out of what is going on now is going to be something disastrous too. And America is weak. It is a weak country that always wants to be isolationist because there's two oceans on, and it drifts towards fascism every time, every single time. Did that right after World War One. It did that right after World War Two. Drifted right towards McCarthyism, and is going to do it now. I'm getting very political, and I am a very political person and everything. I'm angry. I'm very upset because I didn't get good news. You know what? I might die. What the hell? Um, I am a human being. I have opinions, and this is turning into a rant at this point. And I've been looking at all this stuff in the news, watching it. It's been forced down my throat, and we live in a country where all these things are going on and everything, and it's you know, this country just chooses to stay out and then it turns towards fascism. It just loves it. It's in a love affair with it, and it's doing the exact same thing it did in 1941, right before Pearl Harbor, having this big extravaganza in Madison Square Garden right as the Japanese airplanes were getting ready to bomb Pearl Harbor. There it was, goose stepping and adoring Hitler. And then the bombs dropped on Pearl Harbor, and there it was. It got its karma right back on it. And while it tried to stay out and avoid getting involved in Europe as long as possible, and the end result of that was that the Warsaw Pact happened, and it lost any right that it had to have any say-so in Europe for decades and decades and decades. And it was 40 years before America had any influence in half of Europe because of that. And this is what it's doing again. It's saying, "Oh no, I don't want to get involved in that because I'm jealous because Europeans have good pension plans and I'm jealous of that. I think they ought to pay taxes for the military industrial complex like I have to, and then work and work and work and then retire on Medicaid like I have to because I made poor life choices and Europeans ought to make poor life choices like I do." And that's what it really amounts to, is jealousy. And I see it over and over again in Facebook posts. And I'm going to say it. And I'm going to post this on my Facebook page, and I guarantee maybe 8 people are going to watch this video, and I'm going to get like 40 likes on the post, because that's what everybody does. That's what you all are going to do. You're going to like it, but you're not going to watch it. I guarantee it. And now I'm going to upload this. I'm sorry if you got a political rant when you were expecting makeup and stuff. My medical condition is not going well, and that is a summation of it. I've got to go to get an x-ray. Have a good weekend, and I'll keep you updated on what happens. I'll know more next week. I'm not going to really know a lot more, but maybe I'll have something to say that's not going to be so angry in a couple days. Bye-bye.